Alright guys, welcome back. I want to tell you a little bit about how our last weekend went. I went to a barrel race on Saturday. Not really the best day ever. There were a lot of competitors at this thing, so it was a long day naturally, but then on top of that they had some equipment malfunction issues, so there were some delays making it even longer, and it was very hot, very hot. So it felt especially long for me because I am naturally a very impatient person. We should, all be honest with ourselves and have self-awareness about who we are and reflect on ourselves. And I try to do this, and I definitely consider myself someone who struggles with being patient. I am very impatient at baseline. I get very frustrated with inefficiency, with feeling like I'm wasting my time, etc. So these are personality traits that I need to continue to be aware of and work on. But I value my time and I value my energy, and I don't like to be wasteful of that time, and I don't like to be inefficient. So anyway, I'm telling you all this to paint a picture of my mood, because we were dead last to run that day. Essentially, we had been there for like 6 to 7 hours just waiting. So I'm already feeling frustrated. I'm already hot, the horses are hot, and we're just waiting and waiting. So then it's finally almost time for our run. It's like 20 minutes before. I go to warm my horse up, I'm trotting her around, and she just didn't really seem like she was moving normal. Wasn't anything obvious that I saw or anything like that. It was just very subtle, but she just didn't seem like she was moving like her normal self. And of course, if a horse isn't 100%, you don't want to run them. You risk hurting them more significantly, which could have much more dramatic long-term effects. So this was, again, very subtle. So subtle I thought maybe I was making it up in my head even. But then, I reminded myself these animals are always speaking to us. The world is always speaking to us. We just need to open our eyes and our ears and listen sometimes. So you can imagine my feelings at this point. I'm already annoyed that we've been out here for several hours, baking in the sun. I've already paid my entry fees. We wasted our whole Saturday. And now I have to make a decision about scratching this horse, loading back in the trailer, and just going home over a very subtle, nuanced little hunch that I had. So that's what we did. I pulled her from the entry, I forfeited my money, my time, and we packed up and we went home. And I was honestly very disappointed and frustrated and not happy. But I'm telling you this little story because sometimes this is what we have to do. And sometimes this is the way we are going to feel, and that's okay. It's hard to cut our losses. It's hard to have invested time and money and energy into something and then decide to cut our losses and walk away with seemingly nothing, seemingly empty-handed. It's hard to sacrifice in the short term for the long term, but sometimes we just have to swallow our frustration, swallow our disappointment, and make peace with cutting those losses, and recognize you might not feel all that happy with that, even if it is the right thing to do, and that's okay. I was annoyed on Saturday. I was frustrated. We all have these moments where we feel bad emotions. We're not always going to be the best version of ourselves, and that's okay. What's important is what we do in those moments in spite of all those negative emotions. We're not going to make negative feelings go away. We're human. We get angry, we get sad, upset, frustrated, and annoyed. We can't control emotions that circulate through our minds. These are natural things that happen. I read someone describe emotions like the tide of an ocean one time. They come, they go, but they don't define us. They don't define anything. They come, we feel them, then they go. They are only perpetuated if we make bad decisions based on them. So what we want to do is avoid making bad decisions and having bad reactions in those times of negative emotions. Feel them, become aware of them, then determine how you are going to react to them. I felt myself frustrated and annoyed on Saturday, and I wasn't going to make that go away. So instead, I just acknowledged and embraced it. I was careful with my actions as I loaded my horses back on the trailer because I didn't want them to think I was upset with them about anything. I went up to the arena window with kind of a fake smile and, politely told them I was scratching and then politely walked away. I got in my truck and I drove home, knowing and understanding that once I processed those emotions and let that tidal wave come and go, I would be back to normal and things would be fine. I just was in the middle of feeling those emotions and for that moment, and that's okay. So don't try to stop these feelings when they come. Accept them, accept that they're there, let them marinate, process them, analyze honestly why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and don't react to them or because of them in an unhealthy manner. I hope that makes at least some sense to you guys. We are all human. We're all going to have bad days, bad moments. The world isn't roses and butterflies all the time. We need to learn how to cope with things that upset us, accept those negative feelings, move forward in a positive way in spite of them. All right, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I hope that we get to talk again soon. All right, bye.